everybody. So we're going to do a pranayama practice, breathing practice, to work on our immune system. It's an immune boosting practice. And I guess the question is, why would pranayama boost our immune system? Well, basically it's working on the prana in our body. So prana is energy, and our energy system and the level of energy that we have changes all the time. So our body needs to use prana for all the basic functions. First of all, its number one priority is respiration. Then we have digestion, we have elimination, circulation, and healing or immune boosting comes down towards the end of that series of bodily systems that our prana has to manage. So we want to boost the prana, so we've got lots of prana energy to lift our immune system and give it a boost. So one of the methods to do that, as the yogis from ancient times discovered, was through boosting our prana. So through pranayama, which is a Sanskrit word, prana, energy, yama, healing, we can work on our prana. And there's different effects of different pranayama practices. So you'll have the sort of really boosting energy, sort of more dynamic practices, such as Bastrika, Kapalabhati, and then you've got a lot of practices that assist you with stress and anxiety, and probably at the moment most of us need both. So let's have the opportunity today to explore both. So first of all, it's good to find a comfortable seat and find the support that you need. So if you're on the floor, you might want to find a bolster or a blanket and put it underneath the sit bones, which is quite comfortable if you're sitting in Sukhasana. If you want to sit in a chair, make sure that the feet are firmly placed on the floor and that you feel that you can get a nice, strong, straight spine. So we really want to feel that synchronized and balanced position of our shoulders, of our hips, our legs and our feet. And of course, our neck and our head are in line with our spine. So when we're in our seat, we lean slightly back. And with our hands, we've got choices. We can rest them in our lap, stacked on top of each other. You can place them face down onto the legs. You can turn them over onto the backs of the hands and use a mudra, chin mudra, which is said to create an energy seal and allow for the prana to circulate through the body. And it's also said to allow us to connect with our higher consciousness. So why don't you just begin by closing down the eyes and starting to just settle into the breath. And you might want to make little last adjustments with the body. You come into stillness. And see if you can bring your awareness into the breath, just moving in and out of the nostrils. Noticing cool air entering the nostrils and warm air leaving the nostrils. Start to notice the rhythm of your breath and the depth of your breath. Maybe that barely perceptible sound as you breathe through your nostrils. Is the mind busy? Can you just take care of bringing the mind back into the practice when it does wander off? It's very easy to multitask in our more subtle practices like pranayama and meditation. No, just allow the concentration and the focus to rest on those nostrils. Beautiful. So we're going to start our practice with a more dynamic practice, Kapalabhati breath, which allows us to use the abdominal muscles, and we only focus on the exhale, and we're going to push the breath out. And that is the exhale as we push and expand through the belly. The inhale will happen naturally, so it's a focus on the exhale. And with Kapalabhati breath, I just want you to be aware that there are contraindications such as high blood pressure, any issues in that abdominal region, especially if you've had surgery or you've got any other issues with any of the abdominal organs. It's always good to look it up on just through Google, or you can write to DY School of Yoga and we can maybe get back to you. So what I'm going to start with is 12 rounds of Kapalabhati, and then we're going to take 2 long, slow, normal breaths, and we'll return and do another 12. So let's start together. Now, remembering that we're not worried about the inhalation, that will happen naturally. So I just want you to focus on exhaling and pushing, and take your time, because if you haven't done it before, it might feel very odd. So if you only want to do 2 or 3 or maybe 6, that's good as well. So I'm going to start with 12, and you can watch or join me. I'm going to take an inhalation. And 2 long, slow breaths. I inhale, 12 rounds. Two long, slow breaths. Beautiful. Gently opening the eyes. Now, one of the tricks with our Kapalabhati breath, and with all these pranayama practices, is really to find our full capacity with our breath. So breathing in fully, breathing out fully, as much as you can. And particularly when we take those breaths in between, if you call them the resting breaths, we want to really empty out the lungs and expand the lungs. Beautiful. So that's our Kapalabhati breath. Just focus on the exhale, pressing the belly outwards. Naturally, the inhalation will happen without any effort. Now, if you were in a stage where you were just starting out, you just find that rhythm. And as I said, 6 breaths might be enough. If it feels good and you can do 12 really comfortably, maybe stop after 4 rounds. So doing 12 breaths, 2 resting breath, full inhalations, exhalations, 12 more Kapalabhati breaths, the rest, and do that again 2 more times. So you don't really need to be doing it for longer than just a few minutes, maybe 2 minutes. And if you did that every day, you would have an incredible effect on your prana. You will feel the energy rising, and you will feel that there's that sort of expansion of energy, quite energizing. Lovely. All right, so the next breathing practice I wanted to do today is also actually more of a relaxing breath. I find it more relaxing. It's called Viloma, and one of the great benefits of that is it's also increasing our lung capacity. And again, with a virus situation and any flu or cold season, we really want to be exercising our lungs as much as we can so that we're really resilient as well if we do, in fact, end up catching anything. So lots of benefits. Of course, our pranayama practice is a step that we take as yogis before we get to full meditation. So we do our asana practice, like our hatha yoga or vinyasa style yoga, and that warms us up for pranayama, which warms us up for seated, still, steady meditation. But often you can use pranayama as a form of meditation, because as long as you're bringing your mind into that single pointed focus, you'll find that it is an opportunity to slow the mind down, bring it to more stillness, and let go of all the worldly worries. All right, so Viloma breath. So Viloma is an interesting and unusual breath, because we can do Viloma either on the inhalation or the exhalation, or both, which I'll demonstrate. So if we're doing it just on the inhalation, which we'll start with, we're going to just breathe in stages, and the stages are like little sips. So it might take me 5 sips to get to my full breath, inhalation or lung capacity, and then I just breathe out normally if I'm just doing Viloma on the inhalation. So I'll just demonstrate. So it's little sips, and I rest between each sip. It's just stopping and then starting, stopping, starting, stopping, starting. So not holding, but you'll feel that the belly becomes still, and then you take another step, and then there's a stillness. So I'll just do one round. I'm going to breathe in stages, little sips, and stop. So I'm finding that 5 sips for me is right. That may be different for you. 5 sips gives me full capacity, and I'm not straining, I'm not wanting to cause any tension. And then you'll find that the exhalation is really slow. It's like you're letting a balloon out. Just slowly let out the breath. So we could do up to 10 of these. I will often do 8 to 10 on the inhalation, and then you do 8 to 10 on the exhalation. And then you can actually do 8 to 10 inhale and exhale. So if I was exhaling, I'd be letting the breath out like I'm letting the air out of a balloon. So I breathe in normally, and I exhale step by step by step by step until my lungs are empty. Then I inhale normally again. So let's just do Viloma on exhalation. I'll take a normal breath in. I really slowed down my exhalation, so I did 7 steps on the exhalation. That's fine. Everybody's different. So inhaling normally, exhaling with the step down, like you're letting the air out of a balloon. And I guess the inhalation with Viloma, using that step on the inhalation, is like you're filling a balloon. So if we're doing inhalation and exhalation, we're going to be stepping, breathing in, and stepping, breathing out. Let's just do one round of that. So we start with the breath in with our Viloma, and then when we breathe out, we'll breathe out in stages. Starting now. Yeah, I'm really slowing my exhalation down, which is good. So for me, that was 6 steps in, 7 steps out. The other thing I wanted to mention too is it's not just like you're just slowly breathing in or slowly breathing out. You've actually got to stop in between each step, and that's what's causing or creating powerful lungs, because the lungs are flexing and stopping and flexing and stopping and flexing. It's really, really exercising our lungs. So I would recommend that you give it a go. Perhaps just start with 6 on the inhalation and a normal exhalation, 6 rounds of normal inhalation and stepping out the exhalation, and then 6 stepping in and stepping out. And that brings us to the end of our practice. Let's just finish by doing 6 rounds of inhalation together. So when you're ready, breathing in. Noticing that you're just stepping the inhalation in and letting the breath out slowly on the exhalation. And there's a wonderful opportunity here to actually visualize steps. So imagine you're walking up a staircase and each sip of breath is the next step, and equally so when we do it on the exhale. So just keep going through your Viloma just on the inhalation. And when you're finished, the next exhalation, just leave the practice. So I hope you've enjoyed today's pranayama practice. Really great to do it once or twice a day if you've got the time. It can literally be 5 minutes of your day. And it's nice to combine the energizing practice, the Bastrika, or the Kapalabhati. Today we did Kapalabhati, where we just focused on the exhalation, pushing the breath out through the abdomen. And then introducing a more, what we call langana, or a more relaxing, sort of bring that energy kind of into balance practice. So we don't sort of get up from a really dynamic breathing practice and feel, a little bit in the head. We just want to actually make sure that we get off the mat or off the chair feeling quite relaxed. But we've still done all of that work on our immune system. And we've also, in many ways, we've just slowed ourselves down, and it's like an active form of meditation. So thank you for joining me today. I'm Liz. And it's just wonderful to be able to share this pranayama practice with you. And let's just bow our heads and touch our fingertips to our foreheads in gratitude for our practice, and acknowledging the light within ourselves and the light within everyone around us. Together we say, Namaste. Thank you.